What up, homies? Welcome back, Conspiracy University. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go over this article right here. It speaks about gene editing, and I want to cover a couple things that I think y'all would find really interesting. So this reads here: Wait, gene editing is a weapon of mass destruction. The Director of National Intelligence included genome editing on the Worldwide Threat Assessment. Director of National Intelligence James Clapper released the annual Worldwide Threat Assessment yesterday, and genome editing is included in a section on weapons of mass destruction, the same part that talks about the nuclear capabilities of North Korea and chemical weapons in Syria and Iraq. The entry on genome editing reads: Research in genome editing conducted by countries with different regulatory or ethical standards than those of Western countries probably increases the risk of the creation of potentially harmful biological agents or products. Given the broad distribution, low cost, and accelerated pace of development of this dual use technology, its deliberate or unintentional misuse might lead to far reaching economic and national security implications. Gene editing's accelerated pace of development is thanks to tools like CRISPR/Cas9, an injectable protein that can locate a specific strand of DNA in a person's genome, cut it out, and replace it with a new DNA sequence designed by genetic engineers. I repeat, an injectable protein that can locate a specific strand of DNA in a person's genome, cut it out, and replace it with a new DNA sequence designed by genetic engineers. Scientists have used this technology to significantly alter the physical traits of organisms in predictable ways. China is pursuing genetic engineering technologies more aggressively than any other nation. Of course, they are. And has created abnormally muscular animals to supplement their commercial meat industry. Experiments on human embryos are planned or underway in the United Kingdom and China, though editing the DNA of a human embryo is prohibited in the United States. Pharmaceutical companies are looking into new ways of administering gene editing proteins, but as of now, the only way to use the technology is through injection. I repeat, but as of now, the only way to use the technology is through injection. That's good news for people worried about CRISPR being used for nefarious purposes. Piers Millett, the acting head of the Biological Weapons Convention support unit for the UN, told MIT's Technology Review that making a bioweapon is incredibly difficult because it requires a wide raft of technologies. All right, y'all. So they spoke about the CRISPR here, right? Let me get into this a little bit so we can get a better understanding. What is CRISPR and why is it important? CRISPR stands for Clustered Regularly Interspaced Short Palindromic Repeats. It is a component of bacterial immune systems that can cut DNA and has been repurposed as a gene editing tool. It acts as a precise pair of molecular scissors that can cut a target DNA sequence directed by a customizable guide. The system is made up of two key parts: a CRISPR associated nucleus, which binds and cuts DNA, and a guide RNA sequence, which directs the Cas nucleus to its target. It was discovered in bacterial immune systems where it cuts the DNA of invading viruses called bacteriophage and disables them. Once the molecular mechanism for its DNA cleaving ability was discovered, it was quickly developed as a tool for editing genomes. CRISPR is important because it allows scientists to rewrite the genetic code in almost any organism. I repeat, CRISPR is important because it allows scientists to rewrite the genetic code in almost any organism. It is simpler, cheaper, and more precise than previous gene editing techniques. Moreover, it has a range of real world applications, including curing genetic disease and creating drought resistant crops. So, y'all see what they're saying here, right? They now are able, well, probably have always been able to, but they're letting us know that they are now able to go into us and change our DNA. Like verbatim, they said change the DNA, right? So one more thing, y'all, before I let y'all go, because again, I'm not saying that this correlates or this is connected to the things I'm speaking of, right? Or if it's connected to anything going on in today's time, what's going on with these jabs and whatnot, right? I just thought that this was a little too much, right? This is fairly new. This came out in November 2021, and the first article I read came out in 2016. It says Zombie Apocalypse: How Gene Editing Could Be Used as a Weapon and What to Do About It. It has been over a year since the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic. And perhaps the most important lesson is that we were completely unprepared to face the debilitating virus. This raises some scary thoughts. What if the threat wasn't COVID 19, but a gene edited pathogen designed to turn us into zombies, ghost like, agitated creatures with little awareness of our surroundings? With recent advances in gene editing, It may be possible for bioterrorists to design viruses capable of altering our behavior, spreading such a disease, and ultimately killing us. And chances are we still wouldn't be sufficiently prepared to deal with it. A zombie apocalypse may sound far fetched, reserved for the annals of graphic novels, immersive gaming experiences, and popular culture. But there are examples of zombification in nature. Perhaps the most well known is rabies, which can cause aggression and hallucination and is almost always fatal once symptoms appear. Okay, so again, I'm not saying that this in any way correlates with what I'm talking about, and that I'm not saying that this has anything to do with the jabs that they're giving out now, right? But at the very least, y'all, if y'all do, decide to go put something in your body or maybe your children's bodies, just maybe look into this, right? Ask questions, and it don't take that long to sit down and just read a little bit here and there. But as always, y'all, I appreciate every single one of y'all who come over here and rock with me. Y'all keep y'all eyes open out there. Stay safe, homies.